All right, well, let's get back to talking about the Mets here. So we left off in the last video, saw the Mets sweeping the Nationals in a three-game series at home, giving them a 9-5 record in August. In this video, we're going to be covering the continuation of this homestand with a three-game series against San Diego Padres, who were at this point holding down the third wild card spot in the National League and 7 games behind the Dodgers in the NL West. Game 1 of the series, Mets got Nolan McLean out on the mound, continuing his first full season in the majors with an outside shot at the NL Rookie of the Year award. But he's really going to need to step it up over the final 6 weeks of the season here. The current favorites are J.J. Weatherholt of St. Louis and Sal Stewart of Cincinnati. And also creeping up is McLean's teammate Carson Benge. And with his performance in this series, Benge may have even surpassed McLean. So let's look at what happened. The top of the first, game 1, McLean would retire the first batter, Fernando Tatis, on a line out right back at him. So not be the last we hear from Tatis in this video. You can be sure of that. Then after that first out of the way, Padres got consecutive singles by Cronenworth and Machado. The next batter, Ty France, shot a single into right field where Carson Benge grabbed it and threw a missile to Alvarez at the plate to nab Cronenworth trying to score. Then we got the next batter, Jackson Merrill. He did the exact same thing as would Benge as well. Seeing Machado also trying to score from second on the play, Benge showed off his arm once again, delivering the perfect strike to get Manny at the plate with a tag to his head by Alvarez, ending the threat. I think the word's out by now to not test Benge. He's an ex-pitcher, and his ability to deliver strong, accurate throws from the outfield is evident a bunch of times this year. Mets would take the lead in the bottom of the first with an A.J. Ewing single as a leadoff batter, then a walk to Lindor, and Bo Bichette poking one through the infield to score Ewing. Benge would ground out for the first out, but the next batter, Luis Robert, he would score Lindor with a sac fly to give the Mets a 2-0 lead. And then McLean would come back out and get into some more trouble in the second with a walk, a hit batter, and then another walk to Bogarts. Rengifo, he'd hit one back to McLean, who went home for the force out. And then the next batter, Tatis, hit one to the outfield, deep enough for a sac fly RBI, making it 2-1, but 2 outs. And then Jake Cronenworth said, hey, let's try hitting it to left field this time to score a run. But this time, A.J. Ewing was up to the challenge, set forth by Benge, and he's able to make a throw home to nab Bogarts trying to score as well. Guys showing off their arms out there. And that's 4 runners out at the plate, 3 with the throws coming from the outfield. So, seemingly, well, it is only the second inning, but runs are going to be tough to come by, it seems. And then McLean, he'd throw a 1-2-3 third inning, allowing a single in the fourth, and then 2 walks in the fifth before, again, a 1-2-3-6 inning, which was his last inning. The Mets offense, in the meantime, were unable to extend the lead against Walker Buehler. He also completed 6 innings for the Padres. Jonathan Pintaro was able to work around a single and a walk in the 7th, aided by a 4-3 double play. Pintaro came back out for the 8th, got 1 out, and then gave way to Nate Lavender for the next 2 outs. Semi and Polanco both singled the lead off the 8th, but strikeouts by Francisco Alvarez and Ewing brought up Lindor with 2 outs. trying to get some more runs there, but he grounded out to end the threat. Daniel Duarte came in for the save in the ninth, giving Senga a break, I guess. But hey, Duarte been pitching great. Continued his excellent performance so far this season, putting the Padres down in order, including 2 strikeouts, giving the Mets a 2-1 win and getting the save in the process. Look at some game 1 numbers. McLean, 6 innings pitched. Strikeouts still low, but he was able to limit them. There only 1 run allowed on 6 hits and a little bit sloppy with the 4 walks. But yeah, obviously helped out by the throws from the outfield. So, he could thank those guys for, only allowing that 1 run there. Pintaro and Lavender combined for 2 innings pitch, and Daniel Duarte innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, earning the save. Bichette 1 for 3 with the RBI. Benge 2 outfield assists at home, and then Ewan with the outfield assist at home. So hey, low scoring game. Those plays are huge, and obviously the difference in the game. So we go to game 2. Bring out Zach Thornton to face Robbie Ray for the Padres. Thornton got ambushed right away by Tatis, who jacked the first pitch way over the fence, giving San Diego the early lead. Tatis would strike again in the second inning, this time with his glove. We got 3 walks against Robbie Ray, loading the bases for the Mets. Lindor batting with 2 outs. Looked like Lindor was going to hit one out for a grand slam, but Tatis was able to run over, reach up, and pull it back in to end the inning. Yeah, just a great play there by Tatis, doing it with the bat and the glove, as we've seen Benge doing as well. But hey, he got us this time, robbing us of 4 runs. Thornton, he was able to retire Tatis on a strikeout in his next at-bat. He then worked around a walk and a single to get out of the third. And with the Mets struggling to get the big hit off of Ray, Cronenworth led off the Padres' 5th with a single, bringing up Tatis, who once again blasted one out off Thornton. Seemed like he was looking fastball away, extending the San Diego lead to 3-0. Thornton was able to strike out 3 in a row to end the inning, and also his night at that point. Yeah, I mean, just a tough game for Thornton. He looked good to great against everyone else except for Tatis. He ended his 5 innings with 7 strikeouts. Then Luis Torrens led off the 5th with a home run off Ray. His 7th home run in the season. Good to see some power coming from Torrens. Jack Weisenberger threw a scoreless 6, but allowed back-to-back walks with 1 out in the 7th. He was replaced by Jeffrey Yan, gave up an RBI single to France. And Mets got 2 on in their 7th, but couldn't score against Morejon. Dednell Nunez put the Padres down in order in the 8th. Then Luis Robert led off the Mets' 8th with a home run off Morejon still to make it 4-2. Nunez came back out in the 9th and gave up a home run to Machado to make it 5-2. Seems like Nunez has been giving up some home runs lately. He's still making his way back, but we'll see. We'll see how he goes the rest of the season. Hopefully, he can get that under control. That was the 3rd home run allowed in his last 3 outings. And then the Padres got Mason Miller, brought him out for the 9th inning, locked it down by striking out Lindor and Bichette to end the game. Yeah, we can get down to them, as we've seen with, every team that Miller's pitched for. He just, can't get anything off him. And Padres win this one 5-2 to even the series. Not much for the Mets here. Obviously, the grand slam would have been huge early on, but Thornton, as I mentioned, he was good against everyone except Tatis. 5 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts. The 3 runs allowed on solo shot and the 2-run home run by Tatis. 6 hits, 1 walk. Weisenberger still contributing at this point. 1 in the 3rd inning with a strikeout and a run. Jan came in, he got 2 outs, but he gave up the run scoring hit. And then Nunez pitched 2 innings, but got gave up a home run there. Torrens continue his little power surge, 2 for 3 to home run. Robert 1 for 4 to home run. Lindor grand slam robbed by Tatis. So hey, still with a chance to take the series here. Give us a 5-1 homestand by winning the series against another playoff hopeful team. We're sticking with Robert Stock in this one. He's making his 4th start for the Mets. Stock was able to negate 2 walks in the first by also getting 2 strikeouts. He was then able to strand 2 runners in the second and then struck out the side in the 3rd inning. So Stock, he's putting up a fight, trying to stay in that spot for a while. He's not going very far in the games, but if he's able to, get us to the middle part of the game there, hopefully we got some guys stretched out to do multiple innings. The bullpen's been locking it down, even with these kind of no-name guys coming out on a nightly basis, kind of patching it together, but they're getting the job done. But yeah, Stock, he's holding his own. Mets offense, in the meantime, went down in order against Michael King. Then after another 1-2-3 effort by Stock in the 4th, Mets cracked the code against King. A 2-out walk by Bichette allowed Carson Benge another opportunity to take a step towards the Rookie of the Year consideration. He gave the Mets a 2-0 lead with his 15th home run of the season. Guys just getting it done in multiple ways nowadays. Stock came back out, allowed a leadoff double to Bogarts, and then another double, this time by, of course, Tatis, to cut the lead to 1, and that knocked Stock out of the game. Pintaro was able to induce a double play ball by Machado to get out of the inning. Austin Warren came back to the team, made his return appearance in the 7th for the Mets, getting 2 strikeouts. Then Duarte would do the same in the 8th. Guy's been unhittable, basically. Daniel Duarte. Someone to keep an eye on. Hopefully, piece for next year. A.J. Ewan worked a 1-out walk, stole 2nd, then moved to 3rd on a single by Lindor. And then he scored on a fielder's choice and an error with Bichette batting. Lindor would get thrown out at home on a grounder hit by Benge, but Jared Young came up. He was able to bring home Bichette with a 2-out single, making it 4-1. Jared Young doing his thing here and there, getting big base hits or, to knock in runs in clutch moments, it seems. Talked about him and as being part of the team for next year. Ideally not the main bat at first base, but I mean he can contribute there and play a little outfield as well. So even though we're kind of out of the race, these are things we can find out as far as the team for next year and who's going to be a part of it. So that made it 4-1. We got Kodai Senga coming in, trying for his 4th save and as many chances. Senga was able to retire the leadoff batter Merrill, but a single by Rengifo and a walk to Campusano brought the tying run to the plate. Gavin Sheets singled to right to score one, but Austin Hayes came up, grounding into a double play to end the threat and the game, and giving the Mets a 4-2 win, taking the series against San Diego. Senga getting it done once again. It was a little bit of a bumpy ride, but was able to get the double play that the team needed there. Look at the stats for this one. Robert Stock, 4 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts. So, like I said, guy's holding his own there. Innings, 1 earned run against, 2 hits, 3 walks off Stock. Pintaro, Lavender, Warren, Duarte combined for 4 1/3 innings. Bullpen doing their job as they've been doing. Senga pitched the last inning, got the save. They did give up a run, but like I said, he was able to get the big pitch to get out of it with the double play. Ben's 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 of the RBIs. Young 2 for 4 with the RBI. Bichette 2 runs with an RBI and a walk. So Mets take the series 2-1 from San Diego. Go to 58-70 on the season, and another team we take the season series from, taking 2 out of 3 in this one, and then earlier in the season in San Diego, one of the games where Benge had the 5-hit game. So hey, that's who we're going to be talking about now. Carson Benge, as I mentioned, rising up in the Rookie of the Year prospects or probabilities, whatever you want to call it. Take a look at his season stats. Kind of well known. He got off to a slow start, as could be expected. His first taste of the majors. April only batted a 189 average with 2 doubles and 2 home runs, but he was able to show off his base running skills. Got 6 stolen bases in that month. And then you look at since then, he's hit 300 in 3 of the other 4 months, with June even a respectable 263 average with 5 home runs there. So really, he's maybe like a 280-90 hitter without that April, but you can't just exclude entire months. Turning it on obviously in August, up to a 752 OPS on the season, 16 doubles, 3 triples, 15 home runs. So definitely a threat to get a 2020 home run stolen base season. Now that he has 18 stolen bases, 51 RBIs. A lot of his time was spent in the leadoff spot as well. So, probably not going to see as many RBI chances in those spots. But now with Soto out, they moved him down to the cleanup role, and he's knocking in some runs. 10 in August, 9 in July. I mean, they're not crazy numbers, but he's getting the job done. Scored 64 runs. As far as WAR goes, on Baseball Reference, he has a 2.8 WAR, which leads the team. So obviously the 9 outfield assists, just the overall solid defense he's been playing, contributes to that. WAR is a measure of, factors in defensive value as well. So yeah, we got Carson Benge here showing a 2.7 WAR, 15 home runs. This is a little bit later than that from when the series ended. So he's right there, 2.7 WAR. That's actually second out of these guys behind Weatherholt, who has a 4.6 WAR. Kind of similar numbers, maybe a little bit better in the about the same amount of home runs. He's been able to get on base, though, and has scored 85 runs. So that certainly stands out. Definitely on pace for 100 runs scored. If I really look at it, all these guys in the comparison, I'd kind of give the nod to Sal Stort. Mainly just looking at, he has 27 home runs. The WAR is only at 1.8, but it's hard to ignore 96 RBIs at this point of season, and he leads the team. He leads the Reds team by a lot. So he's really been their main run producer. I know RBIs are kind of a contextual stat, but just knocking in 96 in August in your rookie year, that's definitely impressive. It shows, I don't know his numbers with runners in scoring position. Could look that up, but just to have knocked in 96 runs, that's definitely impressive. And then we bring it up to McLean. He's at a WAR of 2. I think he's just been solid, really. Obviously it was amazing seeing him coming out last year, his first time in the majors, trying to give a team a lift and propel us into the postseason. Obviously fell short, but we saw a lot of great things from him last year, and really his numbers this year are right in line with what we saw, like a tick up on the hits per 9. So inflating his whip a little bit, but yeah, the numbers aren't really too far off. He does have 14 hit batters, which is kind of making things look a little bit worse. Got hit with the home run ball here and there. About the same percentage of the time as last year, but I don't know. I guess maybe they just came up in the wrong spots or something. Obviously, guys are going to get tagged here and there. McLean is a competitor. He's up there challenging the batters, and he's going to beat them often, but he's going to pay the price every once in a while as well. I think the main thing with him is he just needs to work on throwing a higher percentage of pitches for strikes, just tighten up that command a little bit better. Either way, hey, the Mets got a bright future in these two guys, McLean and Benge, as well as Ewing. Christian Scott, he's not a rookie, but he's very early in his career as well. And we got Thornton. We got a lot of good pieces coming up that graduated out of the system over the past 2 years or so. Maybe a year earlier with Scott, but he missed all that time as well. So, hey, Mets future is looking pretty bright. If we can continue to produce from our farm system, that's going to be huge. I know a lot of the talk out there is, people are going to say what they're going to say, but, there's some people holding out hope we could maybe make a run at Scooble in the off season. I'll tell you what, people really have a lot of fun spending Cohen's money in their mind. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy, but it's to be expected. And he talked a lot about trying to win. in a very short amount of time, so can't really put it past them to make a splash like that. I don't know. It's just easy to be like, yeah, we can get this guy, we can get this guy, because we can. Like, he's willing to spend as much as necessary on the team and more. But I don't know. I kind of see the Mets taking a more realistic approach towards just the luxury tax that they're having to pay above and beyond paying these contracts that they're signing up for. I mean, crazy amounts of money to go up and up and above the luxury tax penalty where they are. I mean, it's easy to say it's just money, but it also affects the ability of the team to kind of replenish their farm system and, get some of these top prospects in the draft or through, international free agency. So I don't know. A lot depends on what comes out of the offseason with the labor talks, but I mean, everything's lining up for the Mets to try to get under the luxury tax, or at least reset it in the next 3 years. I mean, all the moves they made in the offseason, they let Alonso go. They traded a contract in Nimmo for Semion's contract, which expired after 3 years. And then if you look at who is signed beyond next year, it's only really Lindor and Soto. And I guess Bichette, if he doesn't opt out. I mean, we got all these young guys under team control, so we know they'll be around, putting a lot of money into the development side of things. Just buildings and technologies and everything. And then we saw the trades we made at the trade deadline, just trying to bring more young talent, and I think that is mainly the direction that the team is going to try to bring down the overall team salary and just give themselves some more flexibility with all that. I mean, that's not to say we're not going to sign any free agents. I mean, we're going to fill holes in the bullpen, maybe get like a mid-level starter. But as far as going after Schoolboy, that just sounds crazy to me. Would I love him on the team? I mean, of course, guy's the best pitcher of the past couple years, really. I mean, a couple guys are challenging him now, but he's been the most consistent, Cy Young winner, all of that stuff. Obviously, you want a guy like that on the team, but the risk that's going to come with it and the type of contract he's going to demand, I would honestly pass on it and just continue trying to develop our guys into that level of pitcher. Or even if they don't quite reach that, it would be good enough. And then, maybe like a mid-tier or two starting capable pitcher. But hey, if we continue to churn these guys out, then I'm all for just a whole homegrown rotation. That's always beautiful. But hey, yeah, that's my thoughts on all of that, all the recent real speculations going on. There's always going to be the bullshit, but hey, what are you gonna do? So yeah, I also did a little video tribute to some Lindor and Soto love. If you guys want to check that out, it's just a quick video, just kind of throwing some shade at the people perpetuating this, drama in the clubhouse or whatever. Just trying to have some fun with it. What else you gonna do? You know what I mean? It's baseball. All right. So hey, y'all have a good night. Catch you after this next series. Peace.